Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of the More Magic Book Club podcast. I'm joined today by Marianne. Thank you for joining.
Everyone.
So, today we are talking about dragon books. And I think this is going to be a lot of fun because I realized while I've been thinking about this that there's a lot of different kinds of ways that dragons are portrayed. And well, we can dive into all of that. But first, I just wanted to say I don't know your experience with dragons. But I have a confession, which is that for a very long time, like too long, I thought that they were real, and it just gone extinct. So
Interesting.
just wanted to start there. So yeah.
I mean, I guess you could kind of say like pterodactyls are kind of dragons if you just ignore the fire breathing or any type of breathing ice or fire or whatever. So honestly, when you say for an embarrassingly long time, what age are we talking about here?
I don't remember exactly. Probably, oh, I don't know exactly how old, but definitely like in elementary school, upper elementary school, probably.
Okay,
Maybe
I
junior
think
high.
that's okay, okay.
Well,
Let's
actually, no,
say
probably because, okay, so in my defense, have you ever seen the movie Dragonheart?
I don't
It
think so. I
has, I think
should.
Sean Connery plays the voice of the dragon. Yeah. And then who's the actor in that? I don't remember the actor. I think is it a Disney movie or I don't know, but I saw that movie when I was a kid. And basically, I'll just give the quick summary. So it's essentially this, I think, a knight, and he has to team up with a dragon, like the last dragon in existence, basically, to redeem himself. It's been a while since I saw it. And then in the end the dragon dies and then forms the Draco constellation in the sky. Sorry, spoilers. But so I saw that movie when I was young and impressionable, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is the story of how the dragon."
This is a historical retelling of the dragons. So I'm looking it up. It was actually Dennis Quaid,
Oh yeah,
if
Dennis
you
Quaid.
remember him.
He's in it, and then Sean Connery's the voice of the dragon. Yeah.
Fun fact about Dennis Quaid being an LA girl. My neighbor dated him in the 90s.
Oh my gosh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
that
but
was like peak Dennis Quaid too.
right. I was like, dang, Dory, you must have been really, really, really good looking. She was good looking too, but like she was good looking in her older age, but like she was, but yeah, so it didn't work. It wasn't meant to be her and Dennis Quaid, but turned out to be a nice, fun story for me to share that my neighbor
Yeah.
dated him.
That's so fun. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love him. And the movie's good. But so yeah, so for I don't know exactly when I realized the dragons are not real. Um
I mean, and
do
then
I still think that they're I don't know. Maybe I still
I
kind of
mean they
think they're
have
existing.
Komodo dragons are a real thing, and they spit out poison, don't they? Don't they?
Do they?
Let me look this up.
Ooh, I know they're
Because
creepy. Also
yeah,
like bearded dragons. Have you seen those?
do they spit out stuff too?
I don't know, but they're scary looking. They're smaller though.
It is yes, Komodo dragon saliva is a complex venom that causes shock, prevents clotting, and lowers blood pressure. So so
Ooh.
like if the qualities of what makes a dragon is first that they're reptiles, second that they fly, third that they spit things out, like some type of elemental thing, whether poison or blood, I meant poison or fire or ice or whatever. The Komodo dragon shares two out of three, and then the pterodactyl also shares two out of three because it flies and it was a reptile. So
Mm,
I'm just
yeah.
saying, in our
Well,
planet Earth, there's two of like multiple animals have two out of three of the qualities that make up a dragon.
well, maybe the Komodo dragons are like kind of like the ostriches of of the dragon world. Like they just can't fly.
Yeah. Dude, they look really intense, by the way. I'm just saying, like, they look like, man, I'm kind of glad dragons don't exist. I guess one difference between, like, if you want to make it mythical, is that dragons are sentient, but they don't always have to be.
Yeah.
As we see in our book list today, they don't always have to be. That's not a requirement, but that's something often that we see is sentient dragons, tricky dragons, like almost godlike or angelic like dragons, right? Or like
Hmm.
mysterious or mythical special dragons, almost like unicorn status. Like there's different
Yeah.
types.
Yeah. That's true. I'm like, when did, because I know Beowulf, I believe, had a dragon in it. I'm like, what are the early, I guess Chinese mythology also has dragons because it's a very specific kind of creature and like mythological, like, yeah, I guess creature being. Um, I don't know enough about the history of it.
There was this YouTube video. I did not watch the YouTube video. I put it on my to watch list. I saw the headline, which is every single culture on planet Earth has some kind of dragon mythos.
See, that I had heard that before too. Maybe that's why I thought it was real.
I mean, maybe it was, and we just haven't, what isn't it in our lifetimes we thought that giant squids were a creature of mythology, and then like in our lifetime a dead one washed up ashore, and now we've actually seen them alive. Like, hasn't that
Wait, I
happened?
didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like in our life, when we were growing up, we thought they were creatures of myth.
Yeah.
And in our lifetime, we actually have discovered living, breathing giant squids, like krakens, basically.
Yeah.
They just don't really, the difference between back the story and real life is that they live really deep, deep, deep in the sea. And they actually are not interested in going up to crush sailors and pirates for treasure. That's like the main
Yeah.
difference. But like other than that, it's a kraken.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's so crazy. Now I'm like, okay, are there also mermaids? See, then I go too far down the line where I'm like, and I'm in Portland, so of course, like, like Bigfoot and Sasquatch here, that's like the big thing too. Yeah, different types of like mythical creatures is really interesting. But yeah, dragons, I feel like dragons are, because we have like some of those are more like folklory. I personally wouldn't categorize dragons as folklore because it feels like it just feels like fantasy. But I guess maybe it used to be more like folklore and that's why it was in like every culture?
I kind of put them in the same category as unicorn.
Hmm.
I don't know, do you do that? Like where it's like a mythological beast
Yeah.
that can be found in folklore, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they feel similar. Yeah, I was trying to think of, now I'm like, I don't know enough creatures, but dragons feel very unique. And that's where I think we see that in a lot of different fantasy books as well. And I think that that's why they always seem to come back. Like it just feels like fantasy feels very tied to dragons.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just like the Tolkien influence or if it is like, because even the knights, like all of those tales of knights, like they'd go and they'd fight dragons and that was part of those myths too.
Right. I totally forgot that once upon a time dragons were villains. Like in The Hobbit, which is one of the
Yeah.
books we have, right?
Yeah.
Smeagol was the name, right? What was the name of the dragon in The Hobbit?
Um, oh my gosh, what was its name? Smeagol was Gollum's name.
Yes, what was I always confuse Smeagol and
Ah, what is it? Smog? Is it Smog?
Smog.
Yeah.
Yes, in my defense, come on.
Yeah. Very, very close. Well, and
Yeah,
I think it's been a long time since I read Beowulf. I read it in college, but I'm pretty sure in that they fight a dragon as well. It's kind of the
right.
same, yeah, like villainous creature, like almost like a bear, like attacking them and stuff, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
and it's interesting how like different cultures like perceive the dragons, because so that's like very European, right? So
Hmm.
like Beowulf was one of the first like stories written in English,
Hmm.
right? Like Old
Yeah.
English, Old English. It's one of the
Yeah.
first stories written in Old English, and the dragon is evil, and you could see that in J.R.R. Tolkien in the Arthurian legends. Whereas in China, dragons are seen as something that is benevolent, almost like deity-like. They have immense power, wisdom. They represent good fortune. Like my friend who is from China wanted really badly for her daughter to be born in the year of the dragon. Because
Hmm.
that's like, I mean, come on, would you have rather your child be born in the year of the rat or the year of the, like, come on now. Like, totally, yeah. So, the baby actually got born this year, which is the year of the horse. So, which is fine. I would
Yeah.
take that as a
Oh,
second
I
place,
was the year of the
honestly.
horse.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
really good.
Yeah,
I
I'm getting
am
there.
year of the cock.
Oh, really?
Hmm. I guess better than rat, I guess.
Probably. Ooh, now I want to know more about that. That's interesting. But it is, to your point, yeah, having dragons on this side of the world, like my hand meaning the European side, being villainous and these yeah, like predatory creatures almost. And then
Yeah.
on the other side, like they're, I don't know if you'd say worshipped, but viewed in a completely different light. And I don't know enough history to know if there was like any sort of transference between the two, like if like someone went to China and then that's how the idea of dragons came to England or vice versa, you know? Because it is so specific. Yeah.
Yeah. They're definitely revered, like they're guardians.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking of Mulan when I look, like Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
He was a guardian, right, for the shrine of the ancestors. Maybe not the best example, but that's just, hey, I'm a child of the 90s in America. That's what comes to my mind when I think of Dragon Guardian. And then what was I going to say? And that's the thing is we'll never really know how like the dragon became so ubiquitous because like
Hmm.
humans have been traveling to and from since the dawn of time, like from all over the world, from one edge of the world to the other. So we'll never know,
Hmm.
but it's interesting to see how they start to evolve over the centuries to where we are now, which is like now I feel like the dragon lore is really diverse.
Hmm.
They go from, yeah, and so maybe we could start talking about some of the books, but like today's
Yeah.
dragon books are really diverse. Some of them are old school villainous, some of them are old school deity type, and some of them are just animals, but like
Yeah.
mythological, beautiful, lovely animals, and some are something completely unique, which we'll talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I maybe we start with well, we already kind of touched on Lord of the Rings, which has a dragon in it. But something in that vein I would say is the Inheritance Cycle, which is Aragon and all those books, because that's very heavily influenced by Lord of the Rings. And in those books, they're interesting because the dragons are, very wise, immortal, these ancient creatures. And they also have, like, some of them are wild and like that kind of like raw, pure power, but then some of them become um, the dragons of the Dragon Riders. And I don't know if this was the first Dragon Rider book, but that's the first one I read. I don't know enough of that type of subgenre to know the history, but it's definitely one of the most popular and probably one of the first really big Dragon Rider book series. And I think that that's really interesting to take, Smog, who had all of his gold and like killed like hobbits. Well, I guess he didn't kill hobbits, but it was killing all these people in Lord of the Rings. And then you take that and then because in the series they have similar creatures. Like there's also elves and there's like orcs and urukai or I don't remember urgles. I don't remember all the names, but there's like overlap with the rest of the world too. But then in it the dragons are like partners and it's which is really crazy to think about, like kind of flipping that on its head. And yeah, and then of course we've seen a lot more recent Dragon Rider books as well. I feel like that became very popular for a period.
Yeah. Such as a book you and I have yet neither of us have read, but apparently it is very famous
Yeah, it
called
is.
didn't hear about it till this year. The Fourth
Yeah,
Wing.
Fourth Wing. Yeah,
Yeah.
Fourth Wing, and I think that there's three of them now. It's like Onyx Storm. Maybe that's the most recent one. I haven't read them yet. But those are obviously hugely popular. I mean, maybe more popular than Aragon and all those books now. And there's also less popular, but my brother keeps recommending this to me, the Songs of Chaos series by Michael R. Miller. The first book's The Ascendant, and it also has Dragon Riders. It's also high fantasy. I haven't read that one though, but he said it's really good. So I don't know enough details about that world, but I feel like we have like all of these Dragon Rider books, and then one that I've mentioned to you several times is the Naomi Novik series, the Temporary series, where there are dragon riders, but it's in the Napoleonic Wars. And so they're just like part of the military, which is
So
really
cool.
cool. Yeah. So they're all so creative because I believe Fourth Wing, if I understand correctly, I think it is high fantasy set in another world, and they have like a dragon riding school and then something like that.
I also heard
Yeah.
that the Fourth Wing is what kicked off the romantasy trend.
I think that's true. That and like Sarah J. Maas. Yeah.
What did she write? Don't think I've heard of her.
A Court of
Oh, yes,
Thorns
yes.
and
I have heard of
roses.
that
Yeah.
book. Yes. Every
Yeah.
girl tells me about that book. That is so true. I'm interested in the story.
Yeah. I don't think there's dragons in that, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't read that either. There are so many books I haven't read. It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy. But
And
yeah.
romantasy is a tough genre for me to get into, but maybe, with The Everlasting, which is another dragon story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I that was, I guess, a romantasy, and I really enjoyed that book. So,
Yeah, I love that book. That one, we can't, I don't want to say too much about the dragons in that one because it's like a major spoiler. So, but there are dragons and you should read that book. I think I kind of just want to leave it there because,
yeah.
but
I think
very unique.
the depiction of the dragons was beautiful,
Yes.
and there was less said than you'd think. And
Hmm.
what was said was really beautiful and
Yeah.
haunting.
Yeah. And very unique and very creative.
Yeah,
Yeah. And we have a whole episode on that one once you do read it where we talk about that in more detail. Um,
right.
yeah. Yeah, what do
And
you
then
think about the Dragon Rider books? Have you read any of them?
the only one I ever read was Aragon,
Yeah,
Aragon.
Aragon, yeah.
And I remember loving Saphira so much, like being so
Yes.
concerned for her safety.
Yeah.
I was like, nothing can happen to her, nothing. Like I wanted a dragon. Like the author Christopher Paolini, right?
Yeah.
He did such a good job of making you fall in love with the dragons, and like they're not just like horses in battle. They are real creatures that you have a serious bond with, that's magical and beautiful and mysterious, and you don't want anything bad to happen. That's why I remember reading it when I was like 11, 12, 13. I need
Mhm.
to, one of these days, I need to reread the series. Because also I was never able to finish it because I
Yeah.
couldn't find it in the library. So like now I'm an adult, so I could theoretically just buy all four books and finish, or go to the library again. Who knows? Maybe now there won't be as much of a waiting period.
Yeah.
So
Now that they're like 20 years old, I'm like, how
yeah,
old are they?
there shouldn't be like a backlog. So I
Yeah.
should finish this. I would love to reread the series and finish it.
It's really good. Yeah, the series I think it holds up and it's good. And I do love that about the Dragon Rider books where I feel like almost all of them, well, I guess I've only read the Timur series and the Inheritance Cycle. Um, but I believe in Fourth Wing it's like that because I've seen them talk about dragons like online. But yeah, that you get to have this special bond, which I feel is pretty unique to dragons. Like I don't think I mean there are other creatures in fantasy where you get to have that bond, but a lot of times in these Dragon Rider books, it's like they become a part of your soul. And
Yeah.
like you get to have that connection and that's so powerful. And also like thinking about how the world is becoming increasingly more lonely. Like maybe that's why we're seeing more Dragon Rider books because it's like a way for you to experience that connection where you're like disappointed with like humans, but
Yeah.
you get to feel like, oh, like this character has this closeness with this other like sentient, like I mean, all of the ones I've read, they're very powerful too. Like they're not just,
Yeah.
like they're also very smart.
This conversation just reminded me of my favorite Dragon Rider series, but it is a honorable mention since it is not technically a book.
Oh,
Or
what
I
is it?
think it is a book actually. How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh yeah, I love that. That's like one of my favorite movies.
I just recently rewatched all three, and oh my God, the tears that were flowing in a room full of adult women. Like, and you talking about the bond and the specialness and the like they become part of your soul. Just all of a sudden, I thought of that movie, and yeah, that is a very good movie. I think it was
Yeah,
originally based on a book, maybe, but like a super simple like children's book or something
I
like
think
that.
so too. Yeah, I think it was a children's book. I haven't seen the third movie, so I don't know what happens.
Ooh,
But
Demi, you gotta watch it.
maybe I'll watch that like tonight. But
Yeah.
because the first one I used to always work like I would always listen to that's the soundtrack I would listen to at work was the How to Train Your Dragon soundtrack. And the first one, yeah, like it's like the end, like there's that moment. Okay, this is a little bit of a spoiler, but there's the moment where he's like falling and then Toothless comes and like goes in to save. I just saying it, I could feel myself tearing up. Like every time I cry every single time.
Where he like where Toothless dives into Captain and then he loses his leg, so he
Oh,
matches with him. It's so good.
yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, those movies are so
That's
good.
probably one of the greatest movies that came out of like an animation studio in like the last, I don't know, like 10, 15 years.
It's so good. Yeah, those are so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point though, like thinking about dragons and well, because like in film, like I mean I have the Dragonheart movie. Um, How to Train Your Dragon. I'm like, I don't even know what else other like other types of media portray dragons because it's such a unique yeah, like entity, like a dragon. And I feel like it is kind of everywhere and we don't even think about it, but it's like so ingrained in our culture.
Also, that also reminded me of one of my most annoying depiction of dragons was Sleeping Beauty. I remember there's a
Oh,
scene,
there
I think
is.
it's
I
Sleeping
vaguely
Beauty.
remember.
Or it's
Yeah.
either Sleeping Beauty or Snow White. I confuse them, but there's a scene where
Is
the
it
prince,
black?
yes, let me look
Yeah.
it up real quick.
It's been a long time, but I remember one of them.
It is Sleeping Beauty. So Philip, the prince, is fighting the dragon.
Mm.
And this scene, I remember being a girl being like, I don't like Sleeping Beauty. She sucks because he is fighting the dragon and she's just like standing there doing nothing. And like they even go so far as to animate like a little sword on the floor. And she doesn't pick it up and like fight the dragon with the guy that she supposedly loves. Like, come, she's just like, oh no, I'm just gonna let this guy who I supposedly love like fight to the death against this giant evil creature. And I was like, I don't like her. She's
Yeah.
like, she's so useless. Because if someone I loved was fighting a dragon, you best believe I'd be trying to go behind it and try to cut the tail off or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So,
At least distract it, you
yeah.
know? Yeah. That's interesting because I never really liked Sleeping Beauty either, but I wonder if that's why. Because I think I literally saw it once and then like we also didn't have it on, VHS like back then. But
Right.
yeah.
Once
Um
was enough for me.
yeah.
Maleficent was good. Maleficent was very good. Which is like the
Yeah.
remake tell from the point of view of Maleficent, like the
Yeah.
the
I
villain
haven't actually
character.
seen that. Every time I try to start watching it, something happens and then I don't watch it.
It's good. It's kind of sad, but
Is
it's
there a
really good.
dragon in that?
I don't remember. I do
Yeah.
not remember. Yeah. But they
Yeah.
add to the world building, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so interesting how it's like everywhere. Um Yeah, well, do you want to talk about because I know we read Trust of the Emerald Sea, which had a dragon in it. Are they a larger part of like the Brandon Sanderson world, or is it just not?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Tress of the Emerald Sea is a book that came out for the Cosmere, and in it, a dragon is a character in the book, and this is very different from like, for example, let's say a book we have on here is A Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brennan, which we just did an episode on.
Hmm.
In that, the dragon is not sentient, it's an animal. It's a beautiful animal, it's a mysterious animal, but it's an animal. Whereas Brandon Sanderson, the dragons are actually a race of people, and they have their human
Oh.
form and they have their dragon form, and they are people who are imbued naturally with a lot of power. So
Hmm.
even in the Cosmere, they're very revered, very feared, very respected because they are diverse people. So some dragons are evil, some dragons are good, some dragons are just trying to live their lives, pay the mortgage or whatever.
Hmm.
But they're just a race of people. And so Tress of the Emerald Sea is the very first time in the whole Cosmere where we actually get to see these special dragons. Because up until this point, for the last 10, 15 years, they've only been alluded to. And so now
Oh.
that's the first time we see a dragon, and he's basically a researcher who's not that morally scrupulous. He's just kind of like a research. He's a guy
Hmm.
who is out for self. He's just you. I don't want to say too much, but he's not. Let's say a purely good hero. And so Isles of the Ember Dark is actually the sequel to Tress of the Emerald Sea. But
Oh, is Tress in it?
no, because Demi, unfortunately, Tress of the Emerald Sea is a good entry level book for people who have no idea what the Cosmere is.
Hmm.
Isles of the Emberdark is a purely Cosmere novel. Like you have to have read everything else to understand Isles of the Emberdark.
Oh, interesting.
And you
Okay.
actually follow the captain from Tress of Emerald Sea for a hot minute, and you follow the dragon for a hot minute. But the main character in Isles of the Emberdark is another dragon. and she is a very good girl. Like she's a good, morally righteous person, and she's like a really good hero. And so we see her, and she's shackled to her human form, so she can't be a dragon because she, I think it's like she refuses to do the wrong thing or something along those lines. Like she wants to be good even if it comes at a cost. And so
Mhm.
I thought that was really interesting. It's just so interesting to see how dragons and our conversation with dragons and dragon mythology evolves over time. Like first in England or in Europe, they're seen as something like evil to be feared, and it shows up all the way until Sleeping Beauty, where it's like a villainous character that for some reason Sleeping Beauty just decides to not do anything about, but like while her supposed love of her life fights him on his own. And then like we have the like the Asian influence of them being revered and wise. And like you kind of see them kind of start to commingle together. And now now we have such diverse, like it's so diverse now that we're having dragons who are a race of people who are
Mhm.
diverse. And so I just thought that's interesting. And like Brandon Sanderson's such a good example. And somewhere in between that, we also have dragon riders, you know?
Yeah.
So like it's just so fascinating to see the story of dragons and how they evolve over time.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I didn't know that. So that went way over my head in trust. I was just like, "Oh, dragons." Like obviously, it's fantasy, but that's so fascinating because like yeah, to think of like a dragon, it's like yeah, I'm just like you just kind of like blew my mind a little bit like thinking about someone being able to just transform into a dragon. So that's how they are in that world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have their human
That's
form, their
crazy.
dragon form, and some gods are even dragons. Like the gods who
Oh.
shattered the one true god was shattered by multiple different like races of people throughout the universe. And
Hmm.
so some of them, at least one of them that we know of, it was a dragon. So
Hmm.
she's like an extra powerful god.
Interesting. Are there other shapeshifters in the world, or it's just the
Oh,
dragon?
yes, you know what there is? There's this other creature that is made up of bugs, but they are hated by the universe. Like they are like the bugs of the universe. Like nobody likes them. It's sad. Yeah. Yeah. Like they're not even allowed to
Interesting.
exist in most planets. Like they'll get killed immediately. But
Oh
they're
my gosh.
people. But they're people. They're just people made up of a bunch of little bugs. Gosh, people give them a break. It's not their fault.
That's so interesting. You have like both sides, like
Yeah.
all-powerful dragons and then these like bug people.
Yeah. Who
Yeah.
are also powerful, but they're probably not as cute. Like it's probably just creepy and gross, like to see their face split into a bunch of like cockroaches and come back. Whereas
Uh,
dragons, it's like, wow, look at the beautiful white light they emanate or whatever. So it's like, you
yeah.
know,
That's so interesting. Yeah, I didn't know anything about that in the Dragon Prince.
I'm selling you, aren't I? I'm selling
Yeah.
you.
I'm excited. Do I get to learn about this? Because, well, I mean, we're reading Mistborn in December. So is there any mention of dragons in it in that book? I
I
think
don't think so.
I'm like, will I be able to read the whole series? I guess we will see. Now I'm getting ahead of myself, but yeah, that's so fascinating because there's like on the flip side, we just read A Natural History of Dragons, which when in that episode when we talk about it, there's like not like a lot of magic. So it's like the opposite where there are these like all powerful or like extremely powerful people in Brandon Sanderson's world, and then on the other side we have dragons where they're I think we were talking, I was like they're kind of like whales and elephants in that world. Like they still look like dragons, but they have like they're like animals,
Yeah.
not like these sentient
They
beings.
are basically Komodo dragons. I mean, Komodo dragons might even have more powers than they do. Like, because they could
That's
spit
true.
venom.
Yeah. Although I think that they breathe ice or something?
Oh, okay.
I know
Okay.
I'm like, am I confusing it with a different book? I think that there was something like that. Um, but yeah, it was very much like an animal.
Demi, I've heard of the Priory of the Orange Tree. I think one of my really good friends has told me about this book many times. This whole time I did not realize it was a fantasy book. I thought it was some kind of like urban story or something. So tell me
I
about this
yeah.
book.
I think that too. So I haven't actually read it. I put it on here because I was searching for fantasy books with dragons. And but I have read another book by her. She has a series, I'm blanking on the name, that I think is set in Oxford, and it was good. But so this one, my understanding is that it does have dragon riders. There's also magic. Um, it's supposed to be like pretty political and have like a lot of like kind of like feminist themes. So whereas something like Aragon and like even the Temeraire series, like they follow a lot of male characters. I mean, they have like women in the books, and I wouldn't say that they're anti-feminist, but I think this one is supposed to just like have more. I haven't read it, but I think that maybe the main character is a woman. I don't know exactly. I haven't read it, but so that could be like a different kind of flip side to that one. I want to read it because it's supposed to be really good. I've heard a lot of people who really like it. And is it set in our world? I actually don't
I
know.
thought it was like set in, I don't know why. I thought it was like set in Brooklyn or Boston or a B, a city that starts with the letter B. I could be so wrong.
That's so funny because I totally thought it was set in China. So, so it's probably means it's probably set in another world, and we're just assuming that.
Our brains are just doing what brains do and filling in the blanks.
Yeah, like completely based on the cover. That's what I was going off of.
Yep. So guess what? You are 100% right. It is based in a completely different world.
So yeah, so we just have no idea what it's about, but it's supposed to be really good and it has dragons in it. So I just wanted to mention that one. Anyone
Yeah.
who's read this, please let us know if you liked it. Because I was looking and I was like, man, maybe we should have this one on like the list for next year. Because I've never read it and I
Right.
keep wanting to read it.
And everyone who I know who has talked about it, it's very highly acclaimed.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really, really good. Yeah, and then there's also a series which also haven't read, but this one was really recommended. I found like a few Reddit threads about fantasy like dragon books, and pretty much everyone recommended the Draconis Memoria series by Anthony Ryan, which I had never heard of before. Have you heard of it?
No.
Yeah, I hadn't either, but it's
No.
supposed to be kind of like a mix of steampunk with dragons and
Oh,
kind
I
of like
love steampunk.
yeah, and then like Indiana Jones style
Ooh, I love
adventuring is what
Indiana
it says.
Jones style adventuring. Ugh.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, that sounds really cool. I haven't read the book and I don't think it's Dragon Riders, but in the summary it said that people can drink dragon blood and there's something magical there. So
Seems like an ethical issue there.
yeah.
Unless you do it like the Maasai people in Kenya, where they like stick the straw in the cow, but they don't kill the cow, and it's like a very special relationship that they have with the cow. Other
Wait,
than that, I'm like,
I've never heard of that. Oh my gosh.
yeah, there's like the Maasai, like a group of people in Kenya who have like a really special relationships with with cows because it's like literally their lifeblood. That means it's basically a very sacred tradition, and the cows don't die. Um,
Hmm.
so like I could see if it's something like that, that sounds interesting. If it's like they kill the dragon and they drink its blood, it's a little too mean. That's a little too cruel.
Yeah, I haven't read the series, so I don't know, but I think that it's the bad people who are doing it. And so I don't know if they're killing them. Um, but that was like something that was, and it said that there's end of the world stakes. Yeah, I haven't read it. So I don't know all of the details. But it seems like it's supposed to be really fun. And I'll like literally every single Reddit thread that I found, talking about dragon books, at least one, if not multiple people recommended it. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe that one's worth exploring.
Ugh, Demi, every time we do one of these, I'm like, there's just not enough time in the day. I want
I
to
know.
pause time and read all of this. I
I
still
know.
have
We
to
need
do
to be.
stupid stuff like work and do the chores. Ugh,
I know, like laundry. Yeah.
ugh,
Cooking dinner.
don't remind me.
Yeah. Like I feel like I need to become like an immortal dragon just to be able to like read all these
If we
books.
were dragons and like the old school style dragon where they like hoarded things, books would be the thing I would hoard. Oh,
Yeah.
but what'd be sad is I wouldn't be able to open it with my little claws.
That is sad. Well,
So
maybe
yeah.
you'll be a dragon that has like thumbs. I don't know.
That's nicer than what I was thinking, which is I'll just have a human slave to
Oh
read it for
my
me.
God.
Or a human
That's like what was it,
assistant.
Tress, like Tress.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
literally I'm thinking of Tress of the Emerald Sea. He had like human slaves. Yeah. So that's like I was like, I'll just be like him, like Zissist, I think his name was.
The one where you're like, he's kind of morally questionable. You're like, that's my role model.
For reading, for reading.
Yeah, because I think that in the inheritance books, the Aragon books, the dragons they learn and they're like so smart and stuff too. And they go to the library and I'm like, no, I'm like, how did they read? I don't know if they ever talk about that. I think there were scrolls. Maybe they can like undo a scroll or
I don't think I made it that far.
I don't think it doesn't show them, but it talks about how there's a library or there used to be and like implied that they would go there and learn. So
Huh.
yeah, maybe it's because I know they're doing like he's doing another round of like books for that series, so maybe that explains it. But yeah, I know. Now I'm like, because we put so many on here that I haven't read, and you just convinced me again to read Brandon Sanderson, which is like a million books. So
A million books, and each book is 1,500 pages. It's like 5 books in one book each.
now I'm almost sad because I didn't know that the Dragon and Tress was like this, like, oh, it's the first time we get to see one.
It's
And
a big deal. It's
so
actually a big
yeah, I
deal.
like miss the like, that kind of like excitement. Like, oh, we're
Yeah.
gonna see a dragon. Uh, well,
No
that's
one does Easter eggs like the Cosmere. Like the Cosmere Easter eggs. That's why you read that giant series multiple times is because you start to capture them. Like
oh
it's
yeah.
very rewarding.
Well, I'll just forget Tress, and then that way
Yeah.
when I come back to it, I'm surprised.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
You'll start to see things in a very different perspective when you read Tress the second time around with the context of the Cosmere. You'll start to see some interesting like rules and things like that.
hmm.
And like the technology is off planet and it's really obvious where the technology from. Even the villain is from a different planet and you could tell which planet she's from.
Yeah, there's so much. It's
Yeah.
so much. Yeah.
So much to do, so much to read, so little time.
Yeah. Do you have any final comments about dragon books?
I feel like, what's interesting is I feel like we didn't have that many, which I think
Hmm.
is interesting knowing how dragons have kind of dominated our like cultural mythos. Like
Yeah.
from in every aspect, like movies and books. I'm like, and so part of me is like, is it just because you and I haven't read the same like the dragon books, or is it just that they're so common that they're actually almost kind of hard to place?
Mm. Yeah, you're right. Well, actually thinking about it, there's a dragon in Harry Potter too. Yeah.
There is? Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe they're just in every fantasy series in some capacity. And so we like,
But they're like not the main character.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They're just like, and then this dragon came.
Yeah. It is interesting how, yeah, because even when I was researching, there's not a ton of dragon books. There's definitely, I feel like, room to have different kinds too. Like, we've done a lot of dragon riders, we've done a lot of like dragons as villains. Like, what else is there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. Maybe not. Maybe this will inspire someone and we'll get like a good dragon book that we
Yeah.
can read. Yeah.
I do have some anime in my mind that's like dragon heavy. Like Fruits Baskets, which is this like very girly anime that my friend and I binge watched. But that's besides the point. What I was trying to say was I would love to read some fantasy that's about dragons inspired by the Asian mythology of
Hmm.
like your East Asian mythology of dragons because I'm like, you know what? Those animes are pretty interesting that have dragons.
Hmm.
It's totally different than like the Western like dragon mythology. So I would love to
Hmm.
read some of that. One day someone
Yeah.
will write it.
Something different than the Eddie Murphy in Mulan dragon. What was his
Yeah.
name? Yeah.
What's his name? Mushu.
Mushu. Yeah. Uh,
Ah,
that was so
that
fun.
by the way, that movie holds up. I love that movie
I love
unapologetically.
that movie too.
So good.
It's so good. Yeah, so we need more like that. Maybe not Mulan exactly, but
No, that is like a Western interpretation of of like of dragons or something of
yeah.
like Asian dragons. But man, it was a good movie.
Yeah. I love that movie. Well, yeah, this was fun. I feel like this gives me I almost feel inspired to go and read some more dragon books because it's been a while since I picked up a new one. I mean, we just did read it as like a natural history of dragons, but like something that's like where they're magical and,
Yeah,
yeah.
I want to reread Aragon. That's what I realized. Maybe I'll read it with my daughter when she's older. That's
Yeah.
maybe how I could get away with these things is like read it with the kids.
So you're not gonna read it for like 10 years. I'm just
Yeah, I
gonna be
could. I
talking
mean, I
to you
have a
about
very long list, so
it.
that sounds about right.
Okay. Well, yeah, maybe we'll do an episode on like time and then we can like see if any of the books have an answer to like stopping time so we can have more time to read books.
Amen.
But yeah, well, thank you so much for chatting with me about these books. This was so fun. And yeah, I feel like I thought about dragons in a way that I haven't in the past and how
Same.
culturally prevalent they are. Yeah.
So culturally prevalent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Demi.
All right, thank you everyone. If you haven't already, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you follow us or subscribe or share this with any fantasy readers in your life. And we'll see you in the next episode.